And another major storyline, I guess, with Denison on the other side is they had no goals throughout their 2 games to start the season out in Lexington, Virginia.
Yeah, that's definitely something to watch heading into this game. But if you're looking for the bright spot from Denison, it has to be that they only allowed 1 goal in those 2 games, and a lot of that has to do with their sophomore goalie, who last year beat out 2 goalies that were in the class year ahead of her for playing time. Patil Chalakian is her name. She is 00, and she has been crucial for Denison thus far. And we'll see if Otterbein can continue to score at this high clip with her in the net.
And we certainly can't look over Otterbein's goalie, Aaron Gordon, who only allowed 1 goal through those 2 games out in Hackettstown, New Jersey.
Cardinals are led by head coach Brandon Coombs in his 21st season.
You know, when we're outscoring opponents 11-1, I mean, what is Otterbein doing in front of her that makes her so successful?
Well, we actually have to pause for the national anthem, but we will be right back shortly. Thank you for listening. Before the national anthem, we were talking about the defense that is in front of Otterbein keeper Aaron Gordon. When you look at the starting lineup for tonight's game and the lineup they've used the past 2 games, what you'll see is that there are 4 senior defenders in the starting lineup for Otterbein. And in recent years, Otterbein has gotten far in both the conference and in the NCAA tournament. So there is a lot of experience in front of Aaron Gordon, which certainly makes things easier.
No, yeah. And for those of you who are watching as we get ready to get this game underway, Otterbein tonight is going to be wearing their gold uniforms as Denison will be wearing their black. And how about this weather for soccer tonight? Not too hot, not too cold, and got a little breeze going. Sunny out here. We're ready to get it going.
I can count maybe 10 clouds in front of me at most. Certainly something that it certainly means the players won't be worrying about weather delays tonight, which means we can get all 90 minutes in.
And as we get ready to face off here,
the teams are lining up. Looks like Otterbein will be getting the ball first. In the middle, I believe that's number 8. Emily Gans, the junior forward out of Powell.
And we are now underway. Otterbein possesses the ball first as we have the ball kicked across the 50-yard line here, and it's headed back by Denison. And Otterbein is currently driving up the field in the end zone next, and thrown down by number 13 on Denison, Emma Finney. And Denison's going to kick it out of their zone here.
This will be a goalie kick. See where this is headed. Right up the numbers, but Otterbein got possession.
And Otterbein with a nice clear. They kick it in the zone in front of the goal, and no one's there to receive it. And to get after it for Otterbein, and actually kicking it out of bounds. And Denison here trying to get something underway. Kicked out of bounds, and it's going to be Otterbein ball. Throwing it in is going to be number 15, Haley Hott. And another throw in here for Otterbein. Number 23, Bella Shively, throwing it in. Now she passes it off to number 15. Otterbein playing really aggressive defense. Denison having a hard time getting it across the zone here.
Both teams did not receive any penalties in their first two games. So even if they are playing a bit aggressively defensively, most likely we won't see any cards tonight. Besides, of course.
And as far as, I mean, what do you think as 25, Priscilla Severance kicks it into the zone here. Otterbein possessing it. Going back around there about the 20-yard line now. Couple moves around the Denison defender. And cleared out back of the zone. Down in Otterbein's end. What does Denison have to do throughout this game to try to stop Delaney Earl, in your opinion?
Well, so when you look at the Otterbein attack, you really have to consider both sides of the two-headed monster up front. So Bella Shively is, although she's listed as a midfielder, she will get the ball to Delaney Earl and fulfill her role as a midfielder. So if you want to shut down Earl, you need to prevent the ball to getting to her.
And here as Kelly O'Neill kicks it back to number 25, Katie Livingston at Denison. Otterbein takes back over number 28, Delaney Earl with the ball. A big storyline in this game if you are just now joining us, as we are 0-0 here with 41 minutes left to go here in the first half.
Although, what should be noted is Shively led the team in goals and points last year. So even though she's listed as a midfielder, she can contribute offensively as if she were playing the forward position.
And number 8 of Denison with the free kick, Kate Dannemiller. Kicked on to the net for Erin Gordon, which she recovers, and she is looking for a teammate to pass it off to for Otterbein as she kicks it out of the zone. Across the 50 here down to the 40, Otterbein's going to take over. And it's going to be 28, Delaney Earl with the ball. Pass it off, and it is intercepted by a Denison defender. And Denison tries to start their rush down the field. Nice hustle play by Bella Shively to get back. And Denison is going to dump it in deep for Erin Gordon to take over. What is Otterbein doing so well that Denison just cannot get into the zone? I mean, we mentioned the aggressive defense, but it's like they cannot get past like the 30-yard line at this point.
Well, I mean, so if we're being honest, the goalie for Otterbein has not really been challenged yet, and that's because Denison hasn't really had the ball for more than 2 or 3 passes at a time. And if you can't build from the back, you're going to end up relying on these long passes, and the long passes just aren't going to be as consistent, and you won't find yourself in a good shot to shoot.
And number 23 for Denison, Kelly O'Neill, driving in on Aaron Gordon. It is cleared by Otterbein, where they will kick it out of bounds.
What you saw in that play was Denison had to rely on the long pass, but they managed to connect, but number 23 wasn't able to get a clear shot on net.
And Otterbein taking back over. It's going to be number 8, Emily Gantz, driving up the field. And she's going to dump it off to Delaney Earl here. Excuse me.
Earl did
and
not.
It was almost deflected in by a Denison defender into her own net, saved by Patil Chalakian.
I'm not sure who Earl was going for there. Pretty much the three closest players to that ball were from Denison, but that almost didn't matter because Otterbein almost got one for free.
Seems like a lot of what they're trying to do is just try to dump the ball in deep and, get the ball in front of the net and play around that.
I mean, a lot, yeah, because what you often see is you'll see penetration on one side, which means that the defense has to focus on that one side that's getting penetrated, which will then open up the middle, because usually the middle has to move to that one side, which is why you're seeing both teams build from the outside in. So see Denison here will penetrate from the bottom side and try to find something on the top, or in the middle, I should say, and they will not, thanks to an Otterbein clear right in the end zone.
A great Otterbein clear there to get the threat of Denison's scoring prowess out. And the other thing with Denison is, we have to understand last year these two teams played. Denison won 7-1, so Otterbein's definitely looking to not let that happen again, especially on their home field.
Yeah, so looking back at that result and how these two teams have played thus far, I don't really see any result like that happening because Otterbein has found way more scoring early in the season than they did last year, and it seems like Denison will not be scoring 7 goals tonight, assuming their last 2 games are any indication.
And I guess the other thing too is, Maggie Armstrong, Denison's leading scorer last season, graduated, and that's a big loss for them on the offensive side of the ball. As Otterbein's going to take over here, it will be Aaron Gordon kicking it out, and she's just going to dump it off to one of her teammates here in the end zone, and they're going to look upfield, try to get something rolling.
Maggie Armstrong, as you said, graduated. She had 9 goals, but the two members of the Denison Big Red had 6 goals, and they are returning. And that's Liz Gilbert and Claire Kopp. So maybe look for them to score tonight.
They're definitely going to be looking to her, try to get the scoring going for the season. As we said earlier in the broadcast, Denison is scoreless throughout the 2 games that they have played over in Virginia. As Denison's number 13 is going to dump it off, Emma Finney. Kicked out of bounds by Otterbein, and it's going to be 13 Finney again, throwing it in. She throws it in to 7, Meg Rogan, and Otterbein's going to take over. Nice kick up in the air to get it out. And Earl's just going to get it up in the air for one of her teammates, and it's back to Earl, and Earl's going to take it down the field. And it's going to be 15 Haley Hott down there to recover. And now Denison back the other way. It's going to be number 18 going down the sideline here, Claire Kolf.
believe she's going to be called offsides. That explains the stop in play. It looks like it'll be Otterbein ball, so that likely is the case. Obviously, we mentioned the result between these two teams last year, but what should be noted is that that was the biggest loss in Otterbein history in women's soccer under the current head coach, Brandon Coons. But then they ended up winning 16 of their next 17 games after that loss.
And going all the way to the round of 32 out in the tournament. And this season we have everybody returning for Otterbein, so big and high expectations for them going into the season here as they play their first home game here at Memorial Stadium. And we got 33 minutes left to go here in the first half, and it's 0-0. It's going to be Katie Livingston looking for somebody, passed off to 18 Claire Koff. And it's going to be Delaney Earl picking it back up to number 23, Bella Shively. Shively passes it off to 8, Emily Gans. And Denison's going to take back over deep in their end. Pass deep downfield here for number 18 of Denison, Claire Koff again. And a ball that was kicked out of control. Earl catches up to it and actually saves it in bounds. And it's going to be Denison taking back over here with the ball.
Both these teams have traded possession, which may explain why we have no recorded shots on goal in this game. It seems as if the midfield is pretty much anyone's game, and once you get to the final third of the field, you're usually in a rough spot that doesn't allow you to get a good look at the net.
And on both sides, we have two pretty sharp goalies here tonight, so it's going to be tough to beat either one. Here as Erin Gordon looks for a teammate to throw it off here too, and she's just going to kick it out, looking for 23, Bella Shively. And number 15, Leyland Keller of Denison's going to take back over. And this one will go out of bounds. Looks like we're going to have a corner kick here for Denison. Number 17, Abby King, is going to take it as the team's getting formation here.
The first corner kick of the game.
And an attempt at a header by a couple of Denison players. And Otterbein. 25, Katie Livingston with a shot on, well, over the net actually on Erin Gordon, and that one will go out of play, and Gordon's going to take over.
Gordon didn't have to do anything there, and part of the reason that is because she has 4 senior defenders in front of her who I'm sure have seen many corner kicks in their time here at Otterbein and know probably what this Denison team likes to do on corner kicks.
And Denison is taking over as they cross midfield here. It's going to be Claire Koff taking it up, and Otterbein's going to intercept it. Otterbein passing it around here, and it's just going to be dumped into the Denison zone. And it's going to be Patil Chalakian taking over, and she's going to dribble it up here. Passing it off to number 25, Katie Livingston, and Livingston's going to look for space. She passes it off to Kelly O'Neill. O'Neill dumps it off to 9. Sydney. And Denison is kind of passing it around here, trying to get something started in the offensive zone. And Otterbein doing a nice job keeping it out away from their own net.
Early in this game, Denison found a lot of penetration on the bottom part of the field, but you've seen the past few possessions that they've tried to get something going on the top side, which explains how they got the corner kick on the top side. I'm guessing they want another shot at that top left corner kick.
And it's Shively passing it all the way down where it will roll out of bounds, and Denison's going to take back over as Chalakian gets ready to kick it out of her own zone. And she's actually going to dump it off to a teammate where she will take the kick to get us resumed in play in a scoreless game here with 28 minutes remaining here in the first half. A nice header there by Mackenzie Peak to keep it from going into their defensive zone for Otterbein. There's been a lot of play here with around the midfield area as both teams are struggling to get some going deep in down on each other's ends. As this one will roll down, and it appears it will be Otterbein ball. And Denison's going to take over after an interception. And it's going to be Leyland Keller just kicking it in, and Aaron Gordon's going to go let the ball roll out of bounds where she will take over.
Abby King, number 17, was the only member of Denison in that top corner, but she was playing the middle, probably too close to the ball to really have any space for a shot.
Yeah. And now Otterbein looking to get something going as they're going to pass it around yet again, still saying around the midfield area, and Denison's going to take back over here around the 30. A pass intended for Meg Rogan. It will be picked off by Otterbein. Otterbein's going to get something going down deep in the zone here as it's a collision with an Otterbein player and Chalakian is going to result in, I believe, a corner for Otterbein.
All the players are headed in the direction of the Denison net. Otterbein will have a goal kick from the top side.
As the players get in formation here. Chalakian was really going for that ball before she collided on that rush, and Otterbein looking to score here. It's number 15 saving it, Haley Hott. And Denison clearing it out of there.
Otterbein's plan on that set piece was definitely to get something going on the bottom side of the field. You saw maybe 5 or 6 Denison Big Red between the goal, or between the corner kicker and the goal. So whoever was making that corner kick really had to hit that one over everyone, and they were not able to. And that's why Denison now has possession in the midfield.
A matchup to watch that I've started to notice as we've gone along here in this game is Earl and Kelly O'Neill for Denison, as they are battling every single time they go down here deep into the Denison zone.
Yes, 23 and 28 are they're both playing on the bottom side of the midfield here, at least when the ball is in the midfield.
And it's going to be Denison looking for a rush here, and it's going to be cleared by Otterbein. And Meg Rogan for Denison is going to pick it back up.
Although Kelly O'Neill is the defender, and Delaney Earl, the forward, likely assigned to Earl, which has to be the hardest assignment.
Yeah, especially with this year's team up to this point with her scoring ability. She's definitely proven that. And it's actually going to be Earl taking the ball here. And the teams are kind of just playing, just kicking the ball around, and now Otterbein's going to try to establish their zone here.
They're getting something set up on the top side, away from Delaney Earl, should be noted. Otterbein maybe knows that Denison expects that play.
And it's going to be Earl running down on Katie Livingston now, and it's going to go out of bounds for Denison to take over as we have 23 minutes left in a scoreless game.
There are substitutions for Denison, should be noted. Number 6 has entered the game. That is Riley Hammond, from a senior from Westerville North, actually.
Right down the road here. A nice header there by Sydney Young for Otterbein, and now Denison's going to take over.
29 is also a new player for Denison. That's Logan.
And
Again.
It's actually going to be Earl driving into the zone here, looking for something to set up, and she deflects it, and it was almost kicked on net. A nice save there by Chalakian. As Otterbein gets ready here for the corner kick.
So Otterbein has 2 shots, both of which were on goal. Denison has 1 shot that did not get noted as on goal. I'm pretty sure that was the one that went over the crossbar on the corner kick.
The corner here is kicked out by number 7 for Denison, which is Meg Rogan. And Otterbein's just going to throw it in here. Approximately at the 6-yard line, so close enough to get a rush here as we get some substitutions here for Otterbein. It's going to be number 25, Priscilla Severance. And number 11, Maya Kelly.
It's funny you mention Maya Kelly. She was the bench player I had noted as someone to watch. So with Maya Kelly, you have someone who is second on the team in shots, and tied for second in shots on goal, despite not starting any of the 2 previous games. And she only started 6 of 21 games last season, but managed to finish 4th in points.
And she is one of those major players coming off the bench who can definitely help the Cardinals get shots on goal. Definitely watch for her to be going down with Earl and all them, trying to get the ball in the net here on Chalakian. As Denison's going to throw it in, they're going to be looking for number 7, Meg Rogan, who's just going to dump it off, and it's actually going to be taken by an Otterbein player and taken back over by Denison. And Maya Kelly getting involved with the play now here, going after the ball, going down the sideline here. And she's just going to into a Denison defender where Denison is going to clear.
Maya Kelly's run on the bottom part of the field is a perfect example of what fresh legs look like. So almost everyone else on the field has been running around for about 25 minutes, but she just came in, which is something you'll see a lot in college soccer because there is no limit on substitutions. So you'll be seeing fresh legs more often than you would in maybe professional soccer, where teams are only limited to 3 substitutions.
Absolutely. And Otterbein, as you said when she first came in, Otterbein's actually looking to her direction a lot as she is going to take the ball down here deep in the Denison zone again and almost tripped by a player, and she actually gets a shot on goal covered by Chalakian, where she will throw it out to Meg Rogan.
Maya Kelly's touch there didn't really look like a shot on goal to me. There was an Otterbein player right in front of the net who was pretty much right there when the ball reached the goalie.
And Logan Ajin is going to take it in here. Back to her again as she receives a pass from one of her Denison teammates, and she's going to cross it in on net, where it's going to be picked up by Sydney Ludis for Denison.
Logan, again, who we just saw make that run on the bottom side, was a recent substitution for Denison, which means both teams are wisely going to their fresh players here in the first half.
And Otterbein here looking to get some started back upfield, and it's going to be Earl, it looks like, passing off to Maya Kelly here again, where it's going to be intercepted by Denison.
Maya Kelly just was about 2 steps behind the Denison defender on that one. Number 15 maybe thought that ball was out of bounds. That is Haley Hott, but instead she'll have to chase down the ball near her goal, and I believe that was a yellow card. I can't tell who that's on. Maybe we can.
And as we also noted at the top of the broadcast here, that I believe is the first penalty for either team.
Yes, it is. Although it seems as if Otterbein got the free kick off that, so we'll see who on Denison got the penalty. I'm guessing it's whoever Haley Hott wasn't too happy with.
And that taking it down the sideline is going to be Sydney Ludis for Denison. And it's going to be Earl taking it back here in her own zone. And she's actually going to cross out a defender for Denison. That was 15, Leyland Keller going for it.
That's
17 minutes to go here, and it's a scoreless game here at Memorial Stadium here in Westerville, as it's the Denison Big Red here taking on the Otterbein Cardinals. And so far a defensive battle. Denison here looking for their first win of the season, and Otterbein looking to stay undefeated.
when you really look at the goal differentials between these two teams heading into this game, it really is when an unstoppable force goes against an immovable object, because Otterbein, it seemed as if they could not be stopped scoring goals before tonight, and it didn't look like scoring on Denison was easy, and so far it hasn't for either team.
And Delaney Earl, the big storyline once again, as Bella Shively trying to get something started here down in the zone for Otterbein. And Denison's just going to kick it out to number 15 for Otterbein, Haley Hott. And she's going to kick it into Earl. Earl fires on goal, but that was wide. And Chalakian's just going to take over and try to get a rush started here for Denison.
So the showing of a card was actually just a regular foul. So neither team has received a card just yet. Each team has one foul.
Discipline definitely going to be a major storyline tonight in this game. And Otterbein's going to take the free kick here about around the 45-yard line.
Sydney Ludis was the one who got the foul for Denison most recently.
And Denison looking to start a rush. It's going to be kicked out of bounds by Sydney Ludis, who we were just talking about, for Denison, and Otterbein's going to take over.
Ludis has been going against Haley Hott, and that's why we saw Haley Hott not be too happy when she was getting up down there earlier. But it seems as if she got what she was looking for. We'll see if Sydney Ludis backs off of Haley Hott now that she has a foul to her name.
And Otterbein's actually just going to kick it out after a nice little mini rush there to try to get it going down in Denison's zone, and Denison's going to take the free kick here. 14 minutes left to go, and we are tied 0-0 as we get a couple substitutions for Otterbein.
That is number 21 is coming out for Otterbein. Haley Guerra. Did not see who went in.
And it's going to be number 13, Emma Finney, taking the throw for Denison. And it's going to be intercepted there briefly by an Otterbein player before going out of bounds, and it's going to be a Denison throw again. Whistles here stop play briefly, and now we are back to going with the Denison throw, thrown into number 29, Logan, again. And Otterbein's going to try to take over, and Denison takes possession. And Otterbein looking for something to open up as they pass here to, I believe that is Maya Kelly. And it's going to roll out of bounds. Thrown in by Otterbein. Intended for Bella Shively, but headed out of bounds by her, and it's going to be Denison throw.
Number 23, Kelly O'Neill, will throw the ball in for Denison. She'll throw it in a crowd of 3 Otterbein players and number 9, Sydney Ludis. But it'll just be another throw in for Denison. And that will be the third
And
one
looks
in a
like
row.
a third one here.
As long as you're getting down the field, right?
That's right.
Pretty much home. Especially when we haven't seen any goal more than 30 minutes into this game. I'm sure these teams will take any movement out the field they can get.
And Denison trying to move the ball around, and then there is a nice clear by Otterbein, which will result in a corner, it looks like, for Denison.
They're playing quite far out. I would say further out than Denison did on the last corner kick, which should make the shot. As soon as I say that, they
start charging in. And a nice clear there by Otterbein is going to be thrown back in here.
First shot off the first set piece was up high, but that set piece resulted in no shot at all. It'll be an Otterbein goal.
Aaron Gordon here to take the goal kick here for Otterbein.
Saw Maya Kelly open down there, but I don't think that was going to go far enough.
Not enough leg on that one. And it's actually going to be number 7 for Denison down deep in the zone. Meg Rogan picking it up, but that's going to roll harmlessly out of bounds. And yet again, Aaron Gordon's going to take it for a kick for Otterbein. 10 minutes left here to go, and we have a scoreless contest out here in Westerville as Denison's taking on Otterbein if you're just joining us. Couple of Cardinals down there trying to keep it in bounds, and Denison's going to take over that, and that's going to be number 10, Ariel Lovey. And Otterbein with a little grass in front of him to be able to run in space as Maya Kelly tries to catch up to the ball. And Katie Livingston's just going to clear here. Maya Kelly throws it in and across here looking for the net, and it's in. Otterbein.
It seems weird to watch close to like 40 minutes of these teams, battling hard in the midfield. They're really having to fight for good shots on net, only to have a goal like that no one expected.
And a shot that looked like it came about 40 yards away goes into the net here as Otterbein's going to go up 1-0 on Denison University.
That was from about the 25-yard line, and the net starts close to the back of the end zone.
And it kind of hooked into that top crossbar there.
You could tell Denison's goalie was not expecting a shot, and if she did expect a shot, she expected one on the near side because that's where she was placed, and then she just couldn't book it back over to the near side of the goal to stop that one. So the score is 1-0 Otterbein.
And that is Chalakian's second goal on the year given up. And Otterbein looks to get their offense rolling here again as Denison's going to take a corner kick deep in Otterbein's zone. And they throw a header wide of the net, and Aaron Gordon's just going to get it out of their zone. Aaron Gordon looking for something to open up here down the field. And we are not exactly sure on who.
Oh, here we go. Goal. It was hard to tell because given how far away that goal was from the stands here.
When we receive the information on who actually scored the goal, we will get that information out to you.
That was Bella Shively. And that was in the 36th minute. So Bella Shively, who led the team in goals last year, is having no issues.
And I believe that should be unassisted for the free kick there.
Yeah, I don't see any assists on here. And I don't see who could have gotten that assist. You have to wonder if even her teammates expected a shot from at least 30 yards out.
Definitely a very impressive kick by Shively there to get Otterbein on the board. And Denison scrambling around here after the ball, trying to get it from Otterbein. And it's going to be number 9, Sydney Ludis, going after a couple of Cardinals.
Shively had 2 goals in the previous 2 games, so she's now averaging 1 goal per game early in the 2019 season.
Definitely a storyline to follow as the year goes on here.
Although she has quite a ways to go if she wants to catch up with Shively. Has about a 2-goal deficit at the moment.
And Maya Kelly, deep down in the zone, tried to cross it in twice. And a couple of nice defensive plays from Denison, and they will clear. And Otterbein's going to try to get a rush started here again from around the 50-yard line. Otterbein looking to cross in the middle, and it's cleared by 15, Leyland Keller. And it's going to be a Otterbein throw. 6 minutes, 47 seconds remaining, and Shively gets Otterbein on the board, and it is now 1-0. Little fake there by Otterbein, and it's actually going to be a Denison throw.
But then there's a whistle. Can we figure out who? It should be Denison. Throw in. But looks like we'll be waiting for something.
Oh, it's a substitution here.
So in for Denison is Brianna Lisbon.
And coming out of the game for Denison is going to be number 9, Sydney Ludis.
There was a forward being replaced by another forward, which means we'll see some fresh legs up front for Denison. We'll see.
Definitely trying to get some speed up on that front.
We'll see if number 22 gets targets in these next few minutes before the half. Have about 6 minutes to target her.
So if you're the coach for Denison going into half, what are you telling your team as we approach 5 minutes here before the half?
I mean, so heading into this game, it's clear that Denison is a team that is going to win with defense. So especially after giving up a 30-yard goal, I would be extra careful about giving Otterbein players space. Obviously, if you're a defensive-minded team like Denison, you are going to play up front, or you are going to play forward defensively. But now you know that you can expect shots from 30 yards out. So we'll see if that more forward defense that they're not going to have to play because they have to now defend these 30-yard shots. We'll see if they can translate a takeaways off that forward defense and get something going on the other end.
And we have another substitution. It's going to be Otterbein this time as number 10, Katie Exline, comes in. And it appears that is going to be, I believe that's Earl coming out of the game for the short time being.
I couldn't tell whether or not that was 23 or 28.
It is Earl indeed coming out for Otterbein as we get play resumed here. Denison looking for a rush here late in the first half of a 1-0 game.
So with Earl off the field, Shively is the main threat. If you're Denison,
definitely for scoring, that's the one you need to be aware of. But you also you can't take your foot off the gas defensively either with players like Maya Kelly, who's been doing a nice job getting down there in the zone as well. Definitely a few storylines here as Earl will come out of the game for a little bit as she gets a rest. And Otterbein's going to intercept the ball here, looking for number 27, Annie Howe, and that's going to be cleared, and it will be Denison throw. Three minutes left to go here in the half. And a throw in by number 25, Priscilla Severance. Looking for Annie Howe again, and it's going to be taken by Denison's number 15, Leyland Keller. And Denison driving down here, looking to get something started. It's going to be picked up by 7, Meg Grogan. And Otterbein's going to clear here.
Denison really had two shots at that because they came in from the top side. They saw one of the Otterbein defenders slip in the middle but couldn't get anything done, and then they pitched it to the bottom and got the throw in.
And a pass there intended from Maya Kelly is going to be headed back, and it's going to be a Otterbein throw after Denison hits it out of bounds.
Denison will be getting the ball at about midfield with just under 2 minutes left. They're clearly trying to even up the score before the half.
And it's going to be number 29 here for Denison, looking for some Logan again. And a Denison player is laying on the field here after taking a spill.
There was no foul called, which means that the Otterbein player got the ball on that challenge.
And we will resume play as she appears to be okay after getting up, and it's going to be Maya Kelly looking for a cross, which will roll out of bounds as we approach the end of the half here of 56 seconds remaining in a 1-0 game. Otterbein. Goal coming from Bella Shively, who led the team in scoring last year, as said earlier in the broadcast here.
And she led in points, which I think means that we can expect more than just her to score with with Delaney Earl out, because she has been able to set up her teammates.
It kind of has to be a relief for Delaney Earl to take the scoring off her shoulders a little bit, with Shively being another offensive weapon up front.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, the team now has 11 goals, and 8 of the 11 are 2 players. We're under 10 seconds. Free kick is wide, so that'll be the end of the half, more than likely. Aaron Gordon will rest with the ball, and it's halftime here at Memorial Stadium at Westerville University. Or Otterbein University, my apologies.
At Otterbein University here
Yes.
in Westerville. Shively, our lone goal scorer, and we are actually going to send it back to the studio here for halftime, and we will be back when the second half begins. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back shortly.
My name is I'm 15 years old and I'm an art recipient. I got my first heart transplant when I was 1.5 years old. I got my second heart when I was 13. About on stage, I think I'm communicating with people. I would like to tell them that I want to make a change in life. It's like, yeah, you can have 2 heart transplants, but that doesn't stop you from doing the things that you love. When I get my driver's license, of course, I'm going to say yes to be an organ donor, because I've been saved twice. So who says I can't save somebody else? It's just the beginning of a new story.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Empowering people out of poverty, helping kids like Grace and her whole community to shine. There's nothing quite like it. At World Vision, we've seen what happens when a child gets clean water or nutritious food, when she feels safe, gets to learn in a classroom, or discovers that she has infinite worth. Together, we're working to help every kid everywhere grow into who God created them to be. Reach out with us today and help people change their own lives for good. Learn more at worldvision.org.
Home Improvement television host Josh Temple here. A house is not a home without strong parenting skills. Let's hear from some of our parenting experts.
What's the rule that you don't like at your house?
Phones have to be like in the charging station by 9 o'clock.
You gotta give up the phone at 9.
Yeah.
Do you spend too much time on your phones?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So you all admit that?
Yeah.
But you're not gonna stop?
No.
What about you? Do you have a phone?
Yeah, but I'm not really on it much. It's not like, it doesn't have any data.
So you have a dumb phone?
Yes.
Okay, Let's switch it up. Do you love your parents?
Yes.
Yes.
What do you love about your parents?
They buy me stuff.
They buy you stuff.
And they birthed me.
And they birthed you. So your existence and everything you get afterwards.
Yes.
To strengthen your parenting skills, visit the real experts at boystown.org/parenting for tips, tricks, and tools for parents with kids of any age.
It's a miracle that springs forth to feed us, to clothe us, to bring us joy. A miracle prompted by rain and warmed by the sun. But few realize without healthy soil below ground, there would be little life above it. Learn more about this miracle under our feet and how we're working with farmers and ranchers to unlock the secrets in the soil.
As a father of two, I can tell you, parenting isn't easy. But my friends at Boys Town have parenting tips and tricks to help you make the most of every moment with your family. Do yourself a favor, visit boystown.org/parenting.
Otterbein's made me the person I am today because they've given me the resources and the support to reach my full potential.
Otterbein has made me who I am through all of the opportunities to be involved.
I have been able to meet so many different people from different walks of life.
Otterbein has made me into who I am by just giving me a lot of opportunities that I don't think I would have had by myself.
I'm a theater major. Theater really taught me a lot. Being thankful, being grateful for the theatrical experience, that really shaped my Otterbein experience.
My favorite thing about Otterbein is probably just the people. Where I've never been somewhere and met students talk about the way that they talk about Otterbein. People at Otterbein I think are really unique in the best way.
There is just such a nice, diverse group of people here.
There's something special about walking around and, everyone knowing your name and, just that real family feel around campus.
My Otterbein love story really started the moment I stepped on campus, and ever since then I've just felt like I've been part of this flock and have been able to thrive.
The people that I've been able to surround myself with have 100% made me and made this experience exactly what I needed it to be.
One of my favorite Otterbein moments was being on homecoming court in the fall. It was really cool because I got to see anyone I cared about in my life came to Otterbein that day, and I got to see them, and they were celebrating like my success here, and I got to represent the school, but also they were at one of the most important places in my life.
I co-founded the Promise House. It's been one of the most rewarding experiences during my college career. It's a community resource center and food pantry for students on campus, and I'm very fortunate to have had the opportunity and the support to start something that didn't exist my freshman year.
I thank everybody at Otterbein that helped me to create this valuable 4 years experience. Also really appreciate my family for their generous support throughout the 4 years.
Erica Van Doff is the first person who comes to mind. She has just been such a mentor and a role model for me. Definitely the people in the Center for Student Involvement, everyone who has helped me as an orientation leader and kind of running that program, and has helped me in running OtterTune because I work very closely with them.
I would love to thank all of our donors and supporters and the Board of Trustees for believing in me and not even knowing me. I think it's crazy to think how much support I've gotten just to get to Otterbein.
I gotta thank my parents first and foremost for pushing me here even when I was focused on other places and other things. Secondly, my athletic training professors, the whole entire major. Joan Rocks, thank you so much for giving me so many opportunities. Connie Richardson, thank you so much. Thank you for the long talks that we've had in your office. Thank you for not letting me quit even when I wanted to, and how many times that I've ever said that to you. To the professors I've had over the last 4 years, thank you for your patience, and thank you for always opening your door for me, for always giving me extra help if I ever needed it. That will stay with me for a long time.
Only Otterbein has allowed me to be a dual sport athlete, a scholar in the classroom, and a leader on campus.
Only Otterbein has given me the experiences I need to help me realize that I can make a positive impact on the world.
Only Otterbein taught me to accept who I am.
Only at Otterbein was I challenged to learn more and do more than I ever thought possible.
Only Otterbein lets me be myself and a student leader for others.
Only Otterbein has allowed me to flourish, to finally find a place to call home, and to really excel in the things that I do best.
Today, millions of people all across America are building a life in recovery from mental and substance use disorders, helping themselves and helping each other, with friends, family, and community, lending their strength and support. Join the Voices for Recovery. Together, we are stronger. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral for mental and substance use disorders, for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP.
And welcome back here to Otterbein University as we have a 1-0 game off the goal from Bella Shively in the 36th minute. And Denison and Otterbein looking to get started back up here as Denison's going to take the opening kick.
They had number 6 on the ball to start, but it looks like they'll start right next. Number 6 will pass the ball off, and we are underway in the second half. Now, Hammond did not start, but I had her listed as someone who could make a difference off the bench because entering this game, she was the only player without a start to record 1 shot on goal, which is something Denison definitely needs now that they're down 1 goal and still haven't scored a goal on the season.
And another big storyline looking down on the Otterbein sideline is Otterbein's leading scorer and points getter this year. Delaney Earl is out to start the second half, but I don't expect her to be out too long here as we are in a close defensive battle here with Denison.
Yeah, you have to wonder if Otterbein turtles up, maybe sub some forwards for some players who can better manage maybe the middle and the back parts of the field.
And it's going to be out of bounds here, and Denison's going to take the throw. And Otterbein's going to pick it up, and that's going to be number 6, Mackenzie Peak.
Peak, if I recall correctly, is the only freshman that started this game for Otterbein. The other 10 started for the team last year.
And a tough defensive battle going on here, and Denison looks like they're going to come. Actually, Otterbein comes away with it.
Multiple Otterbein players found themselves on the turf there, but they still have the ball.
And another tough battle going here, and it's going to be dumped off here for Otterbein by number 21, Haley Guerra.
She got that one between the legs of the defender in front of her, but there was a defender right behind that one.
And it's going to be dumped in here
to number 23.
And that open shot, and it's in the back of the net.
There was a hand on that one, but unfortunately for Denison's goalkeeper, she didn't get all of the momentum off of it, and it slowly rolled in the right side of the net. That, I believe, was 23, Bella Shively, once again.
Delaney Earl, the big storyline coming into this game, actually gets credit for that one.
Which means now she has 6 on the year, which doubles the second place goal scorer.
And she also leads the team in points, and that's going to be her 11th point on the year as she has 5 assists coming into tonight. And Otterbein now leads 2-0 with 42 minutes left here in the second half.
Earl had pretty much a clean run right down the middle, and she decided to take the play to the near side and then shoot to her right to the far side of the goal.
Very impressive play there. She got the defender to go down, and then once the defender went down, it was just open shot on net. And not too many times is Earl going to miss, as it will be headed out of bounds by Otterbein, picked up by number 19, Dulcie Hayes.
It's been a rough night for the Denison goalie, Chalakian, because both of these goals, were quite close, you could say. I mean, the first one, it wasn't a shot she expected, and I'm not sure you can blame her for not expecting a shot from 30 yards out. And the second one, she did get a on it, but she got too much at the top of the ball, and it rolled into the goal just fine. Granted, way slower.
And the ball is going to roll out of bounds here, and it's going to be a throw in for Otterbein. And taking the throw is going to be number 25, Priscilla Severance. And Otterbein's going to cross here to the middle, and it's going to be picked up by Denison. Meg Rogan kicks it up in the air, and it's going to be cleared by Denison now. Thrown back in, Otterbein looking to get the ball back, in which they do. And from the far side, it looks like Delaney Earl working on 23, Kelly O'Neill, a matchup mentioned at the top of the broadcast here tonight.
I believe that's offsides. Delaney Earl was the player closest to the Denison goalie on that one.
And as mentioned today, I don't think we mentioned this throughout the broadcast, she is the reigning OAC Player of the Week.
Yeah, she won Offensive Player of the Week this past week, and she won Freshman of the Year last year.
Only a sophomore, Earl definitely has a lot in store here for Otterbein women's soccer as she continues her career. And Otterbein's going to pick it up in their zone and try to work ahead here on Denison.
I mean, Earl, or I should say, Brandon Coons, who is the head coach for the Otterbein women's soccer team. I know he is a Westerville native, played soccer here at Otterbein, but he currently lives in Lewis Center, which is where Delaney Earl is listed from. I'm sure he is happy with the acquisition of someone local who has made an impact almost immediately.
And a big shot there off the crossbar for Otterbein as they look to try to take a 3-goal lead here with goals from both Earl and Shively. Shively leading the team in goals last season and points, and Earl leading the team in points and goals this season. So definitely the two biggest stars up front for the offensive side of the ball for Otterbein are producing tonight as this ball's going to roll out of bounds. It's going to be a Denison throw.
Denison has 2 shots, but none on goal tonight. Going into this game, they were hitting, 31% of their shots were on goal, 9 for 29 entering this game. You can compare that to Otterbein's. I believe that was a bit higher. It was. So team shots on goal, 22, 37 total shots, close to 60%. So nearly double the percent for Otterbein in terms of finding the goal with their shots.
And Ariel Lovey and Danica Kontich is going to check into Denison as Denison's going to have a free kick here deep in their end.
Otterbein has continued to get shots on goal. They have 7 recorded shots, and 5 of them have been on goal, which will only increase the about 60% number I just mentioned.
And it's going to be number 7, Meg Rogan for Denison, working on a couple Otterbein defenders. And Otterbein's actually going to take over, and a kick that rolls out of control picked up by Chalakian for Denison. Denison working upfield here, crossing the 45-yard line now. And Otterbein's going to clear the other way. It's a tough situation for Denison tonight because it's like, you know, Otterbein's clearly getting shots on goal, and like when Denison gets shots on goal, they know what's happening on the other end with Gordon being very sharp tonight as Denison tries to get a rush going, and that, I believe, was Kate Dana Miller who took a spill.
So Gordon, who's the goalie for Otterbein, hasn't actually recorded any saves tonight because she really hasn't had to. As I mentioned before, Denison only has 2 shots in total. And what having 4 seniors on your back line does is it decreases the quantity of shots from the other team, as we're seeing with the 2, and it decreases the quality of the shots, which explains why none of them have been on target tonight for Denison.
And Ariel Lovey's just going to dump it ahead, and it's going to be picked up by number, from up in the box, looks like 21 of Otterbein, Haley Guerra. And a slick move there by Bella Shively, which goes for naught. It's going to roll out of bounds, and it's going to be picked up by Denison here. Denison's number 19, Dulcie Hayes, throws it in, and that's going to roll out of bounds here. And it appears it will be a corner here for Denison.
From the near side.
35 minutes remaining here in the second half. Otterbein leads 2-0.
We're going to see the charge once again. And wide right is the shot. So it should be a goal kick for Otterbein.
Aaron Gordon here to take the goal kick as her teammates run down the field, try to get it open. And Gordon kicks it down the field. Intended for Earl, looks over on the far side. And that will be dumped back to a couple Denison players, received by Otterbein. And number 25 here for Otterbein, Priscilla Severance, picks it up, and she's going to make a little run here on number 19, Dulcie Hayes. Otterbein looking to work the zone,
Offside.
and she's inside, and it's offsides.
So that is the 3rd time Otterbein has been called offsides. Denison has been caught offsides twice.
And number 10 for Denison, Ariel Lovey's going to pick it up, and she's going to try to go to work here.
And she'll hit the turf. There must have been a stop and play. The ball went out. Looks like it'll be a free kick right where Lovey found herself on the ground.
And it's going to be number 8, Kate Dana Miller, taking the kick. And she's going to kick it deep into the Otterbein end, and it's going to be bounced back. And it's going to roll out of bounds here.
Most of the play was situated on the far side, but Kate Dana Miller elected to hit the free kick into the middle, but the ball ended up on the far side anyway.
And the corner for Denison was cleared by Otterbein, and there's a little rush here, looks like, for Delaney Earl.
1-on-2 rush, and she will have her shot blocked. That could be a corner kick for Otterbein.
Nice defensive play there for Denison. Number 19, Dulcie Hayes, hitting the deck to block Earl's shot.
Will be a corner kick for Otterbein. Delaney Earl. Denison has 9 players set up in the end zone.
And here is a cross for Otterbein, and it's going to be tipped up in the air. And they are batting the ball around now. Denison is going to just clear down the field. And this is going to be picked up by Otterbein's number 5, Katie Best, before it will be dumped out of bounds, and it will be taken here by Denison for a throw-in. So far here into the second half, have you seen any adjustments that Denison has made that's notable to this point?
I mean, so we talked about how we expected Denison to play more forward defensively in the second half, and what we've seen is Otterbein get some good runs on the back end of the defense, right? So you're seeing Earl, get to the 20 or 10 yard line with only 2 people near her, and that's because the whole team is playing more forward than usual. So far that change has happened, but Otterbein doesn't seem fazed by it.
And Earl certainly seems to be finding more space going down the field, which could be a dangerous storyline here for Denison, as she is the leading scorer this season. As the ball is going to be passed to number 19 of Denison, Dulcie Hayes, and she's going to look down the field here. It's going to be dumped back to number 7, Meg Rogan. Crossed over, and Otterbein appears as just going to clear it out of the zone. Katie Livingston chasing after it, but she'll not get there in time, and it'll roll out of bounds. And as we mentioned just a second ago, as you can see out on the field, Denison definitely playing more forward as there is no one back and everybody's down deep.
Now we're going to see a lot of players forward for the corner kick.
And taking the corner is going to be number 9, Sydney Ludis for Denison, and she's going to cross it in now, looking for 23.
Over the crossbar yet again, it looks like.
Kelly O'Neill just kicks it over the net, and Aaron Gordon is going to take it for Otterbein and look to get another rush started.
Ludis knew who her target was on that corner kick. It was the player closest to her with the most space in the corner of the 18-yard box on the far side. But just like the first corner kick, the shot was high.
And number 10 for Denison, Ariel Lovey, just crosses it in, and she's actually going to get it back here, and she's going to try and make a run. Sidesteps a defender there, and the defender's going to clear it out for Otterbein. Number 19 for Denison crosses it in, and Otterbein looks to get another rush here started. Deep pass here, looks like it's for Earl. Earl's going to run down the side here, fires, and scores!
Another goal! One-on-one on the far side, and it seemed like she could not be stopped regardless of how many players were in front of her. She was going to beat out the one assigned to her and get her second goal of the evening. It's now 3-0 Otterbein.
With 28 minutes here remaining in the second half. And this night gets a little bit tougher here for Chalakian, as no matter what they seem to do with Earl, no matter how close they play her on one-on-one, she seems to find that gap and just fire it into the back of the net as she records her goal here on the season.
Since Earl went on the top side this time, there wasn't any help from the middle like there was on previous attempts at the Denison net. We saw Dulcie Hayes on a previous Otterbein attack because she was playing in the middle, but since
of it as Denison desperate in the year 0-2-1, and Otterbein is looking to remain undefeated and be 3-0 on the year. And a nice little pass there is going to roll out of bounds, and Denison will take over. 27 minutes remaining here, and it's 3-0 Otterbein. And Otterbein's going to get the ball back, and another pass will roll out of bounds, and it's going to be another Denison throw.
We've seen Delaney Earl show off her speed in the second half, and I think part of the reason she's been able to do that is, not only is halftime, time to, rest and get your best offensive weapons up to strength, but also she was out for probably the last 10 minutes of the first half, which means she's more rested than most of the players on the field at the moment, which might be why she has been able to get past everyone on Denison.
Well, and the passes too, I mean, as you've been watching tonight, I mean, Otterbein seems to be finding her in good spots where, all there is to do is go ahead and just fire the ball on net. And with a player like Earl, I mean, that just makes it too easy for her at the end of the day. So Denison's number 19, Dulcie Hayes, going to throw it in.
Both of Earl's goals have been across her body. So the first goal was from the top side to the middle, and then the second goal, the first goal was the bottom side to the middle. On the right side, or on the far side, it was obviously to the middle, but across. So from the far side to the near post, and the first goal was from the near side to the far post, which means you have to cover every angle against Earl, and when you're the goalie, you can't cover every angle, because if you predict the kind of shots Earl has had on net, you will find yourself letting in goals that you would normally cover angles for.
And here comes a free kick here from Denison next to their own goal. A deep ball is going to be recovered here for Denison by number 16, Kaylee Knopf. And a battle on the far side between a couple Cardinals and a Denison player is going to roll out of bounds as we hit the 25-minute mark left in the second half. Otterbein with the throw here. And another ball rolls out of bounds, and it's going to be another Otterbein throw. Something that Otterbein is definitely doing very well tonight is they are definitely keeping the ball away from Denison. You mentioned at the top of the broadcast the time of possession, and the more you control that, I mean, the more you're going to control the game.
Yeah, time of possession is a stat I wish we had in our little quick stats section. That's usually the best tell of who's controlling the game. But I think I think even without that help, you can tell that Otterbein has controlled the game just based on the fact that they've had the ball more in Denison's end than Denison has had the ball in Otterbein's end.
Pretty easy night for Gordon back in net, as she has been really standing around a lot of the game with limited shots on goal.
0 saves in this game for Erin Gordon. Now that isn't to say that she's now that's not saying she's doing nothing back there, of course.
She's definitely remaining focused. She is going to pick the ball up and take the free kick here for Otterbein. She's going to dump it off to one of her defenders here.
Well, so I mean, even if there are not consistent shots on net, the goalie is often the one organizing the defenders on the set pieces. So we have seen Denison have 5 corner kicks, which is more than Otterbein's 3, which means that although she hasn't faced as many shots on net, she's had to do more work organizing the defenders in front of her.
A deep ball being chased by Otterbein and just passed off there to Gordon. She's just going to roll it out to one of her teammates here on the far side.
Another routine play for Gordon. What I've noticed is both goalies have given up on the far goal kicks. We saw earlier in this game, both goalies were, trying to kick the ball 30, 40 yards, set up something deep. But now that we're in the second half, both teams are more interested in building from the back, which I think benefits Otterbein, because Denison will spend more time in their end if Denison isn't going to go for the long passes.
A couple substitutions here for Otterbein and Denison both, and somebody coming in that you mentioned, Maya Kelly, coming back into the game here. Definitely has been productive tonight, getting the ball deep in Denison's end and even throwing a couple shots near the net.
Yeah, Maya Kelly got a lot of targets early on when she came in the first half, and you saw a target for her there. They're going to say offsides, although Maya Kelly didn't have much of a choice because the Denison defender was in front of the Otterbein forward. So you really just have to throw it up there and pray. But unfortunately, offsides will end any attack from Otterbein.
And Denison's going to take another throw here as she's going to dump it in. And it's actually going to be taken here by Denison. Now dumped out, and Otterbein's going to retain control of it. And dumped in deep here.
So Earl has 6 shots, 4 shots on goal, and 2 goals tonight. And Shively, in her 1 shot on goal, as we saw, scored to start this game.
On a very unlikely shot, to say the least. And it's going to be Otterbein controlling it in the Denison zone here.
So, I mean, here is the thing about that long goal from Shively, right? You are in the first half against a team you know can play well defensively.
Who was playing well defensively, yeah.
Well, yeah, heading into this game, had a great defense. So you have to know that you're going to have limited opportunities in their end. So if you have space and you know that you are going to be limited on the more traditional goal opportunities, then maybe you're more likely to try something from 30 yards out.
And I guess it goes back to the original point is you just got to get shots on net. And, I mean, anytime you throw it on net, you never know. And that's definitely, I would think, the mindset that Shively had, as it's going to be crossed into the Otterbein zone, close play there. And it's going to roll harmlessly out of bounds. And Aaron Gordon is going to take the kick. Just under 19:30 here left in the second half, and it's a 3-0 game between Otterbein and Denison University. And Aaron Gordon with the kick. And it's going to be straight to a Denison player as she looks to go drive ahead. Maya Kelly, a couple steps too far on that one, and Denison looks to get a rush as 17 goes after it for Denison and goes ahead Abby King.
That was probably the first shot on goal for Denison. The shooter was going for the near post, but the goalie for Otterbein had that one covered, although I don't think it would have gone in anyway. We'll see if that was ruled close enough to be a shot on net.
And a corner ensues here for Denison as number 17. Abby King's going to take it. A cross here, and that is going to go back in front, and Denison fights for it. Recovered by Abby King again.
So it will not be a shot on net, but that has to be Denison's best opportunity yet. 2 of their shots, which were both off set pieces, were clearly too high, but that one had a chance.
And a nice clear there by Otterbein's defense, and that's going to go out of bounds, and number 23, Kelly O'Neill for Denison, is going to take the throw. Abby King chasing after the ball, but it will be cleared by Otterbein. And they kind of just pass it around here. Maya Kelly goes after it, and she will actually get control of the ball. And Otterbein looking to set something up and kind of play keep away here with Denison as the clock continues to run down. So obviously you know what Denison's doing, well, Otterbein is doing in their defensive end and stuff like that. So if you're Denison and you have about 17 minutes left to go, what are you trying to do to at least make this game competitive, if not try to come back here?
I mean, so if I'm Denison, which like this might seem weird, but I would be going for some of the like longer, like more risky shots at it, especially when you have to score like 3 goals in under 17 minutes. You don't really have time to build from the back at this point, and when Otterbein, has so much experience on the back end, you know that you aren't going to get too many chances close to the net.
And as they actually attempt the cross there, it will be taken away by Otterbein, in a risky play by one of the Denison players flying in on a Cardinal will result in a Otterbein kick. It appears the freshman out of Illinois, Grace Dunway for Otterbein, looks like she's getting ready to come in here. And Otterbein takes a kick. And it's going to advance ahead and offsides.
That is offsides number 3 for Denison. Otterbein has been offsides 5 times.
Denison looks to go back up the field here as Maya Kelly passes it on to one of her teammates, and Otterbein starts a little rush down the field. Over on the far side, they look to get the cross, and that will be blocked out of bounds for Denison, and it should be an Otterbein corner, and it will be indeed. And as I said earlier, the freshman from Illinois coming in for Otterbein, that is Grace Dunway. And checking out for the game from the game is that Delaney Earl down there?
I cannot tell you. As soon as you look for the names, they'll put on the
their little green vest there down there. And a heads-up play there by Chalakian. And she's going to roll it off here to her teammate number 18, Claire Kolf. Dulcie Hayes had a nice little rush up the field there, but she will get it blocked, and then she hit it out of bounds, which will result in an Otterbein throw. As Otterbein moves around here trying to get open for her to throw into. And a kick out of bounds is going to result into another Otterbein throw. This one will be taken and intercepted by number 9, I believe, which is Sydney Ludis. And Otterbein's going to take it back up the field. Little pass back here. Now she's going to go back. And number 19 there, Dulcie Hayes, is going to take it for Denison, and it's deflected off her, actually. And it's going to roll all the way down into the zone, saved by Hayes, but it'll be cleared by Otterbein out to number 6.
That was a great effort by Hayes, but unfortunately for her, she was pretty much all alone in that corner. And all you're doing is getting Otterbein the ball quicker than they would have otherwise.
If you're just joining us, we have a 3-0 game here out in Westerville at Memorial Stadium on the campus of Otterbein University with 12.5 minutes remaining. Otterbein's prolific offense has been taken over as it is intercepted here, and she has a breakaway. And a nice stop there by Chalakian
Didn't really get a shot off there. Chalakian immediately went down for the legs of the Otterbein forward because the last 2 goals have been on the ground from Earl. And so by now, Chalakian knows what's coming, and she won't be fooled 3 times.
And the first actually going through Chalakian as she actually got a piece of the ball, but it went out as the ball gets kicked out here around midfield, and this will be thrown in by number 19, it appears, Dulcie Hayes. And it's going to be Otterbein working up the field here, and it's going to roll out of bounds, which is going to result in a Denison throw with here with 11 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the second half.
You just mentioned Otterbein's prolific offense early in this season. It's definitely interesting sitting here talking about how great the Otterbein offense has been when this is actually their lowest goal total on the season, which if anything.
And Otterbein, of course, looking to avenge their loss from last season, which was won by a score by Denison of 7-1. As Aaron Gordon's just going to pick the ball up and look to make a safe play to try to keep the shutout going here against Denison. Aaron Gordon kicks the ball back downfield.
So Delaney Earl's 2 goals in this half were in minute number 48 and minute number 62.
Denison working back up the field as Maya Kelly and a couple of other Otterbein defenders stay in the proximity of the ball. And this will be kicked out by Otterbein and picked up by number 6 for Denison, Riley Hammond, but there is a couple whistles here, which will stop play briefly. 6 minutes and 51 seconds remaining here in the second half as a substitution is made for Otterbein University. And the throw for Denison is made by number 19, Dulcie Hayes. And now it rolls back out of bounds, and another whistle. Sydney Ludis throws it in for Denison. And a deep kick down the field by Denison, and this one will also roll out of bounds.
What is essentially a goal kick for Otterbein.
And it's going to be headed there by a Denison player as Otterbein's going to deflect it back to Denison, and number 25, Katie Livingston, is going to just get it back downfield here for Denison. And here goes another rush for Otterbein, and this will roll harmlessly back to Chalakian, who will throw it ahead here for number 7, Meg Rogan, off to number 9, Udis. And Denison kind of just passing it around here, looking for any open lanes that Otterbein will give them, which has been a struggle for them to find any open lanes from Otterbein. A throw is going to ensue here for Otterbein after it was hit out of bounds by Denison. And the ball will be kicked back out of bounds. And number 19, Dulciers, is going to throw it back in, and they are tight roping the out of bounds line as this one yet again is kicked out of bounds.
In the game, I believe it was in the first half, Denison had a stretch of 3 or 4 throw-ins that got them about halfway down the field. Right now, they're about to get another throw-in. I think this is the 3rd in the past 60 seconds.
The time running. Try to run the clock out on this game from Denison as Aaron Gordon chases another goal kick for Otterbein.
Shot on goal, if we're being honest. Although I don't think that was necessarily a high quality shot. It was right off the goal kick. After the goal kick, I'm sure the goalie is on high alert.
At this point in the game, you would have to think, though, that desperation's got to be starting to kick in a little bit for Denison.
I mean, about 15 minutes ago, when you asked me what Denison needs to do to get a goal on the board, I basically said desperation. If you want to summarize that that analysis, desperation was the name of the game. But so far that hasn't worked either, although they did get that shot on goal.
A nice save and bounce there by Bella Shively, and she is simply going to just, looks like it was kicked out of bounds there by Denison, and Bella Shively is going to throw it in for Otterbein.
So Gordon, entering this game, had a 87.5 save percentage, and tonight she has 1 save on 1 shot on goal. So probably north of 90 at this point.
You have to give a ton of credit to the Otterbein defense, though, in front of her.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's because of that defense that Aaron Gordon has only faced 1 shot on goal.
And Otterbein looks like they're playing keep away as Denison is trying everything in their power to get the ball back. And they will back on their own 10.
I mean, so we've been talking all night about the 4 seniors on the back line, or in the starting lineup, I should say, for Otterbein on the back line. But Denison obviously has less experience than Otterbein, but started some underclassmen on that line, which may explain some of the times Delaney Earl has gotten open deep.
And we are now under 1 minute remaining left here in the second half here from Memorial Stadium, as Otterbein does lead 3-0 as they look to advance to 3-0 as it is bounced off the goalpost. And
I talked about desperation goals, and that may be it. It was a goal essentially off the free kick.
And it hit off the crossbar first. It didn't even go in the first time. And actually, they end up calling no goal, as this is going to be a goal kick for Otterbein, as Denison will not have a goal accredited to them just yet on the year.
Should be a shot on goal at the very least, but I'm interested to see what the ruling was on that, possibly offsides.
And we have 20 seconds remaining here in the second half. And Otterbein will be remaining undefeated, as they will advance to 3-0. And Denison is going to be 0-2-1 now, as they will drop their second game of the season. And it is official. Otterbein has just won 3-0 here against the Denison Big Red,
which increases their goal differential all the way up to plus 13. They have 14 goals and only 1 allowed on the year.
And Denison will have 4 goals allowed on the year now, as they only had 1 coming into tonight. And They now sit at 0-2-1 as Otterbein sits at 3-0.
And with a -4 goal differential is Denison. In terms of the player of the match, which I feel like is something that we should do, I think the logical
no question.
The logical selection is definitely Delaney Earl, who we talked about at the top of this broadcast. She definitely delivered and lived up to the hype that we gave her in pregame. She's well on her way to winning back-to-back Offensive Player of the Week titles in the Ohio Athletic Conference.
And that will do it for us here from Westerville, Ohio. Otterbein wins this one 3-0 over Denison University. And that will do it for us. Have a good night, everybody.